He always goes, the name's Le Bon. Simon Le Bon.
Yeah, I love it.
It's cool.
It fits.
Yeah.
Right, Scotland and Fife. One lane is blocked with an accident. M90 northbound.
Morning, how you doing? Just got my muffin with bacon and my coffee, which is what I always do when I get into 8CS. So I'm going to have that, and then I'm going to come and chat to you.
Old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne? Poor auld lang syne.
Right, I'm back. So, Happy New Year. How are you? I hope you had a fantastic time over the festive season. This is my first day back in the office. Yesterday was my birthday, so 62, would you believe? My God. It just, I still feel as if wasn't that long ago when I was working at RBS and Y2K was around. And but yeah, I realised I've been in infrastructure, forever. Like, this is what I do. This is what I've done. I mean, infrastructure being, telecoms, Unix servers, the core infrastructure of a bank, mainframes and everything like that. Initially, I was a systems programmer at IBM, and then I moved on to network architecture at National Australia Bank, and then worked my way through project and program management. And I was head of telecoms at one stage, I think it was about 25 or something like that at RBS. So it's been a long and interesting career, I must admit. And looking back, I got lucky. I was a school leaver, and wanting to find something to do. I was good at maths, not much else. And someone said, when I was in my careers office, he said, why don't you do this thing called computers? This was 1977. What's computers? Let me give it a try, yeah. What do you want? So I went to Annie's Land College, which is, I think, Glasgow College of Technology now, or Strathclyde University, something like that. But anyway, just a college. I went there and I got in for the SN, and a Scottish National Certificate in Computer Studies. And none of my mates knew at the time what I was doing. What's that mean? Does that mean you press buttons all day? Because obviously this is before the personal computer, about 6 or 7 years later. So I like to think this is the days of punch cards. This is way back. And it was an acoustic coupler. Some of you will remember those. So you put the telephone onto a headset to be able to then set up a telecoms link. None of this Wi-Fi stuff. Oh, bizarre. Yeah, it's been a very interesting, and I'm back in 2023, and still enjoying the technology, still enjoying working for banks. I started working for banks in the mid-80s, more because they were always going to spend money on technology, so they always had some of the most challenging activity. And I've just worked for the Royal Bank, Bank of Scotland, Barclays, Coutts Bank, RBS International over in Jersey, Lloyds, Barclays, HSBC, National Australia Bank, Clydesdale Bank, Northern Bank, Ulster Bank, you name it. Yeah, I don't think there's a bank. Many banks. Santander I haven't worked for, but just about every other one. Having contracted for many, many years. But the last, this is now my third year permanent here at HSBC, and a 1 year before that contracting. And all things going well. I don't see myself changing now. This is where I am. More because things are going well. If things don't go well, then I'll be out and I'll be moving. But I had a good year last year. We were working on an NDA project. Obviously can't say anything more than that. but have a look at my job title and you'll know that I'm working on something that is pretty important to HSBC, and as a result, getting good feedback from board members, execs, and things like that. So I had a good year last year, and I'm looking forward to an exciting year ahead. So my outside of work activities, have a look at douglasmcfarlane.com. Have a look at that, and you'll see I've now decided, I created it over the holiday period, and I thought, well, look, I can keep so much quiet from everybody, but at some point, it makes sense just to say, this is who I am. I do a bit of film, I do a bit of theatre, I do a bit of yachts, and I do a bit of cybersecurity and infrastructure. So, that's just who I am, who I've evolved into. And I have tried to keep each thing separate, more because people, in the yacht world don't really need to know or want to know that anything about cybersecurity. So I tend to, not talk about that to those individuals, and vice versa. Who you guys don't necessarily want to know anything about theatre and film, but you want to know maybe something about cybersecurity. So I've got, for example, in the film, I've got I'm a BAFTA member for 20 years. So we've just finished the latest round of voting. The next round opens up on Friday. I can't tell you much about the films that I voted for, but there's some really good films out there, and it's always exciting to see which ones are going to be, making it through to the awards season and who actually gets there. I've got my own predictions, and some of them you'll have seen. There's a lot of them. Netflix is basically doing really well. They've got the money to spend on high quality films, and you probably have seen some of them were released over the last month anyway. So you've probably seen some of the ones that I would be voting for. But yeah, round 2 starts on Friday, and we'll find out more about that. I'm also a film judge in May. Looking forward to that. It's in Kensington, the red carpet event, and it's an independent film. And as you'll see from my website, I've done a lot of independent film, both acting in as well as doing a documentary to support a community called UK Film Network that I run. I've been doing that for about 20 odd years or something like that as well. And but yeah, there's about 35,000 followers on that, and another 35 on the theatre side. So on the theatre side, I was looking at what I was going to do this year, because I think I've told you before, I've been in Dad's Army, and last year I was in another play, so I got the bug again, and so I had a look at what I might be able to do this year, and Spamalot is on my local theatre, so I'm going to be auditioning for that. I'm a big fan of Monty Python, so who wouldn't want to be in that? I don't know, I'll need to try and rehearse my Cockney accent. Always look on the bright side of life. So not many people can whistle like that. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. So yes, just to be part of that will be a lot of fun. And when you're in a stressful job, as many of you know, you do need to have these outlets to make sure you have a bit of fun as well along the way. You get to my age and you think, what have I done? Well, apart from work, I've done a lot in life and enjoyed it. So, I've got plenty of things to retire to, and looking forward to that in, I don't know, 5 years, or when the government actually changes it again and you have to be older. I don't see myself giving up work, and that's why I'm doing theatre, film, yachts, and all these other things. I've got so many things I could, sort of getting myself involved in. So I don't see myself stopping work. Just changing it maybe over a period of time. So tomorrow night I'm also going to see, tonight, for my birthday, my wife got me tickets to 222, which is a murder mystery, I think, right next to Piccadilly station, and so I'm looking forward to that. I always fancied going to see it, and I'll probably mention it over a period of time, so she's got me tickets for that, so I'm looking forward to it. Cheryl Cole, would you believe, is actually in one of I think it's her debut performance in the West End, so it'll be good to see what she's like, and but yeah, that'll be tonight. Yachts, I've booked Monaco yesterday, That'll be in September. Booked the flights, booked accommodation, same accommodation as last year, and that's firmly on my diary. And that's just what I do. And I've got a couple of people who love yachts, and they're looking at some big designs, and I just love working on them. And maybe at some point I'll commercialise it and get some income for my pension to add to my pension. But the other thing is, before I go into cyber, the other thing is this weekend I'm going to do some yoga. Would you believe my wife's friend has just started up a class, so we're kind of obliged to go along and do yoga. It's always fun. I mean, she's got French. She has French, so she's got a French accent. It's always quite funny how she pronounces things like, "Oh, you sit like a pee-pee," and so it's a fun day. And I do need to, like all of us, after a heavy festive season, we do need to lose some weight. So why not? And I've got one every Saturday now this month, I think. Yoga's not easy. You think it is. Just a bit of stretching, is it not? Oh my God, it's grueling, and by the end of it, you feel good afterwards. That's for sure. But during it, and I'm very much a beginner and rubbish at it, and that's why it's good to have a friend coaching you, because at least she knows I'm rubbish, and so she can have said, "Oh, just sit this one out if you want." I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll do that. And then so cyber-wise, and then you'll see from my website, douglasmcfarlane.com, I'm pushing ideas on the yacht side of my world, and I've got a TV channel. It's a new venture, and I'm looking forward to it. And I've got a lot of good content coming from the shipyards and other people. I've got a lot of good support from the industry, because they're getting it for free. They're getting, things on the telly distributed. They're getting their brand seen, etc. So it's fantastic for them and me, because it doesn't cost me anything. And I'm working with a couple of people who can work on the advertising, and we might get advertising revenue out of it. So it's a good technology. It's actually the future. Connected TV, it's called, and it's basically an app that sits on Amazon Fire. If you've got an Amazon Fire Stick, you can use it, and or Roku. But then once I've done this, and this is the power of networks I keep talking about. Now that I've done this, a contact from America said, "Well, I've got access to all these channels. Would you like to put your stuff on there?" Again, no cost. So it goes on to 40 different American channels, which are, some of them are like, Christian TV and all that, but, who might be interested in yachts, I don't know. But there's about 40 odd there as well. So quite, and there's Apple TV, what else? Samsung TV, Android TV. There's hundreds of them, as you can imagine, and it is the future. It is, when you've got if you need to sort of look at that in a bit more, if you're in that area, let me know, because I've gotten a lot of good inside information about how that's evolving. Connected TV, it's exciting stuff. Anyway, so what I'm also going to do, and this is how I see my other networks are evolving, like film, theatre and cybersecurity. If we do little videos and they evolve, then companies, I don't know, like some companies out there, a friend of mine has done a video for Kaspersky, and he filmed it and interviews and all that, and then put it on YouTube. That kind of video could go on to a streaming channel called UK Cyber Network, for example, or what I've called as UK Cyber Show, and then we can actually help sort of smaller companies be recognised, or even some of the big ones. I'm sure they've already got videos, and maybe they want to publish them. So I'm looking at that this year, but in the meantime, what I want to do is for the what I'm calling the UK Cyber Show, what I'm going to do is a Zoom call with some experts, and maybe do one a month, see how that goes. and then a bit of news, a bit of interview with someone, and then maybe some product information, maybe some sort of supplier has got a product that they want to showcase. They've got a little video on it, and I'll put that in, and that'll create a little maybe 20-minute show or something like that, which I'll put initially onto YouTube and social media, but then it'll go on to its own app on all these TV channels. So once it evolves, I'm not going to put myself under any pressure because I've got want to get the yacht side moving first, and then obviously theatre and film. But I think each of these evolve at their own pace. If there is interest, then it gets going. Now, the 3 areas that I want to, I'm suggesting, and if you've got any interest in these areas, then please hook up with me. Or if you've got a product that you've got a video for, then I've got new editing tools I can quickly chop in. I'm a bit adept at it, having played around with editing tools for quite some time. So I got Adobe Rush over the week, over the festive period. I hadn't come across it before. I'd come across Adobe Premiere, but I hadn't realised their app, and it's just much better than iMovie. I have been using iMovie for these morning rambles, but I'll be using this other one. So the areas I want to, like quantum, quantum cryptography and quantum computing, those are future areas we should be, educating ourselves about, and I'm sure everybody wants to hear about it. So if that's an area you've got specific knowledge on, then great. The AI, artificial intelligence. I mean, I've been playing around with ChatGPT, and it's just incredible. I've written songs. I've written scripts for movies. Not very good at comedy, I must admit. Obviously AI has got a long way to go to think about comedy and humour. But in essence, with serious scripts, that will write a movie script for you, no problem. I've written a couple of blogs, social media posts, emails. I've said, well, I've changed my CV, how do I improve the wording on my CV? So, I've been playing around with it quite a bit. I mean, we don't want to end up in a false world. This is really me. This is not an AI. But you could create, I think it's synthesia.ai. Have a look at that. You can create an avatar, provide a script from ChatGPT, and create this video, but I did think about that as to if I could should I use that for marketing, but I thought no, it's much better from my personal perspective, especially if you want to connect with people, and you disconnect from people if you're actually watching something that's like lip syncing is all mismatched, etc., and there's no dynamism. I mean, I'm not reading from a script, I'm reading from kind of notes that's just above there to make sure I've covered all my points. But if you're just like a newsreader, just actually just reading off a script, then it becomes people become less interesting, I think. Maybe not, don't know. I'll have a play at it and then let you know when I've done one, and you can see what it looks like. And there might be use cases for that. So if you're quite keen, join up to ukcybernetwork.com, ukcybernetwork.com, and a lot of my colleagues did over the festive period, which was nice to see. There's a lot of good. Now I've got a lot of good. I mean, I had a lot of good experts because I'd basically encouraged people who I was on a conference with last year. I encouraged them to join, and they're providing some good stuff. And there's a PDF library with lots of educational stuff. But also, we should be able to evolve it and keep in touch. Even if you're not an expert in cybersecurity and just want to know more, please have a look at it. And I encourage any recruiter to post jobs. That's the kind of thing. Because there's an active community now growing. I think there's something about 50 people there already with that specific focus. And that's a good thing about networks, is once you've got a niche, once you've got a focus, you get people who are just interested in that little topic, then You know, you can get good communication, good collaboration of things, and you can start to you know, effectively start to change the world. Be the change you want to be this year. Right, enough of that 2023 nonsense. Have a fantastic week ahead. I've grabbed on 20 minutes. My goodness, this will make it up to YouTube now. It won't fit on LinkedIn. Right, so have a good week ahead and a fantastic 2023. I'll update you more later.
ബസ് എത്ര മണിക്കൂർ